Stamps-N-Lingers, and it is, probably close to 7, if not exactly 7 o'clock. I thought I've been trying to get on just a little smidge early to give YouTube time to do its thing, because one never knows what YouTube is going to do when one attempts to get on. Yes, it's the weirdest thing ever. So now I have quite the little mess going on here. Let me get this straightened up. Yeah. It used to be that it would turn and let you center the picture and get it all ready to go before you went live, but it stopped doing that, so I don't even know. Hello, Marva, waiting for a snowstorm. Well, I hope you don't get more than you can handle. How about that? Hey, Rocky. Hi, Rosie. Appreciate it. Shirley, Judy. Appreciate you guys coming. So, as you might have guessed from my video the other day when I was opening up my online exclusive, hello, Danette. Hello, Judy. And Judy and Sue and everybody. I appreciate y'all coming and spending part of your weekend with me. So, this is part of the textured notes. I think it's see, I've already forgotten the name of the suite. It's not the same as it's the Botanical Textures Suite, which is based by the Textured Notes bundle. This is all a brand new online exclusive, so demonstrators and folks who are signing up now can get this as we speak. Customers need to wait until the 4th of March. So I think this is one you're going to want, so just mark it down. It's called the Botanical Textures Suite. It's got the Textured Notes bundle. It has the mini corrugated embossing folder, so 3D embossing folder. And it has 2 beautiful DSPs. One is the woven textures, which is what I have used today. You can see all the beautiful texture that you get. And then the second one is the Botanical Textures, which is all black and whites. Okay? So 2 papers are in the suite, 1 bundle, and some really great neutrals dots, okay? Yes, Deborah, of course you had to have it. It makes absolute sense. You definitely are gonna want to have this, all right? Okay, so all of this will be on my blog tomorrow. It's very, very easy. So you probably don't even need to take notes. All right, there we go. Now I can just give you a little fair warning. I did not grab a drink before I came in here, and apparently the pollen count is high, so I may have to run away quick to get something to drink so that I don't have a coughing fit. Okay, so my first thing is I'm going to start with a pecan pie card base and taking some of this. Now I'm calling this rattan because that's what I think it is. And I've cut this one. You can see I cut this one with the rattan going horizontally. I've cut it here going vertically. I thought it would be fun to try that out, which means you can do either way, every which way. Hey, Daryl, appreciate you coming. All right, so I'm just going to use a little liquid glue. This piece of DSP is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, so it's the same as the card front. Now, sometimes when you do this, you end up with a little bit of extra down at the bottom because it's 5 1/2-ish because you lose a little bit for that fold. So just be sure you turn it over and double check. And I got lucky here. I think what I did, and this is a little tip, when you're cutting this at 5 1/2, put the edge right at 5 1/2 and then just back it off like a 1/16. Just a smidge. And many times that will be good enough. Okay, so now we can go ahead and fold that up and we'll be ready to roll. Okay, now the next element is this piece of pecan pie cardstock, and what I did is I used the next to largest die to cut it out. Can you see that pretty edge that it's put on there? It's just quite beautiful. I love it quite a lot. But I did not stop there. I put it in the new mini corrugated embossing folder. Now y'all see me lining the bottom of that piece of cardstock up with that black line right there? That is a very handy register mark for you that Stampin' Up! Has put on the folders so that you can be sure that if you have something that is a directional thing that you want to have straight, if you align your cardstock up on that, then you'll be ready to go and you'll be straight. So hang tight, I'll be right back, and I'm going to get this embossed. Now you remember this is a 3D embossing folder, so you're going to use the base plate number 1, and then the embossing folder with the cardstock in it, and the number 4 specialty plate. All right, so this is the sandwich I used. Plate number 1, the folder with the cardstock, and then the number 4 gray specialty plate. All right, that is what you want when you're using a 3D embossing folder. Okay, so with that done, what's fun about this is now you get this pretty mini, which means it's kind of, it's a neutral kind of a texture, but you still can see that cool die cut, which I think is really neat. I like it. Hey, Julie, appreciate you coming. I am real sorry y'all are getting snow. We've had the house open all day. It is currently still 69, which many people would say is a little too chilly for winter, but I'm good with it. I can handle it. I really can. Now I'm just going to adhere this with some liquid glue up near the top of the card base, the card front. Let me get that pulled over there. There we go. All right. Now my next panel is what I'm going to do a little bit of stamping on. This is the next die down. What's kind of cool about these is if you look, you can see that the designs on each of the borders on the dies are different. So you've got one that looks kind of like rattan, one that just looks like a woven pattern, and then this one, the one I'm using, the second from the largest, looks like bamboo. All right, so I've cut out a piece of basic white with that, and you can see the pretty embossing that it puts on there. And I'm going to do a little stamping now. Now, we're going to use 3 designs. I'm calling this the rattan circle. Looks like a trivet to me. How many of you had this trivet in your house somewhere growing up? Maybe you still do. It's like, you know, what's old is new. So we're using this one and this and this, and then I'm going to use a couple of sentiments. So for this one, I am going to stamp this in basic beige. The colors of this DSP are pecan pie, early espresso, basic beige, crumb cake. So you're going to want to stay in those neutrals. And I'm just going to kind of stamp it right down here. Okay. And it's going to kind of start out intense, and then it will fade slightly as it dries, and that is perfect. I know, paper plate holders, exactly, we've all had those, so it's all coming full circle, right? Okay, so I'm going to take my Mossy Meadow, and we're going to stamp the large leaves. I really do like this. Oops, I should put this back on its magnet before it ends up somewhere I'm not going to like. Okay. And then we're just going to stamp this right about there. Okay. And we'll put away, you know what, let me go ahead and stamp my sentiments since I've got it out. I like stamping sentiments on DSP when there's a DSP that makes sense to do. So I am going to do that. This looks like linen. You can see the other side was another woven image. I don't know what that's called. Probably by the time this stuff goes away, I will know all the names of all of these designs. But this one looks like linen, and so I'm just going to stamp this sentiment, a little note of appreciation. I love this. This may be one of my favorite thank you sentiments ever. I just think it is the best. Hey, Amy, I appreciate you coming. Masculine cards, absolutely, Rocky. They would be perfect. Okay, so I'm not gonna go cut this out right this second. I'll do it in a minute. Now I'm gonna take my old olive, and I'm gonna take the smaller leaves from the set. I do love the foliage in this set. I really do. We're gonna stamp it once up here. As this dries, it becomes more old olivey. That's not a word, but you know what I meant. Right now, it just looks like I've stamped everything in Mossy Meadow, but as it dries, it'll get a little more olivey looking. Okay, it's not a lot lighter, it's just olivier. Yeah, that's a word. It is a word. I know it's a word. Okay, now this one is going to be adhered with dimensionals. Get rid of that last dimensional on that strip. There we go. And then we're going to tie a bow, a linen thread bow, kind of like Farrah Fawcett's hair, but halfway. Okay, that is not a song that will ever hit the the hits list. Casey Kasem, God rest his soul, would never have put that on the charts. Okay, here we go. Okay, all you people talking about snow, I am so glad I'm not worrying about that. Now I am not putting this down in this corner. It's a little bit of an asymmetrical layout that I kind of like, but I do want it straight. Okay, so there we go like that. Now, let me show you the double loop linen thread bow. This is like a half double loop linen thread bow. On a normal double loop linen thread bow, I'm going to say that a bunch of times now in the next few minutes, so just chill. You would go around 4 fingers 4 times. So I'd go 2 more than that. But for this one, I'm just making it a little less effective. Not effective. Effective is not the word. A little less bold. So I'm only going around my 4 fingers twice, and then I'll go around 2 fingers twice. So that's kind of why I'm calling it a half double loop linen thread bow. All right, and then you just slide these loops right off of your fingers, which is easier or not, depending on who you are and how tightly you wound it. And you can still see I still have 2 loops. They just have only 2 strands in each loop, right, instead of 4. So then you just bring these together like so and go hand over hand to make a figure 8. And once again, the half double loop is less fluffy. That's correct. It's like Farrah is having a slightly bad hair day. Like hair and makeup did not get enough hairspray on her, and her hair fell when she stepped out into the Georgia humidity. That's what a half double loop linen thread bow is. So this is a Farrah bow having a bad hair day. But you're still going to wrap a length of liquid glue, linen thread, around here and tie it in a double overhand knot, like so. And then you're gonna do like Farrah would do. She would desperately attempt to make her hair look beautiful again if she had been humidified. That's what's going to happen to us in Raleigh. For all of you going to onstage, get ready for humidity. I'm just throwing that out there. So your hair may do this. I know mine will, for certain sure. Now this is going to be adhered right about here, and I'm going to put it on with a little bit of liquid glue. Farrah would have had a bad hair day, but they never would have let her go on camera with it. So this is one of those you have to kind of suspend your disbelief. Farrah not have a bad hair day, no. God, I envied her hair so much. Okay, so I'm just going to let that dry for a second. And I'm going to go back off screen and use this smallest. Actually, it's not the smallest. It's the next to smallest. No, actually, I was wrong. It is the smallest. That's what I had written, but then I started doubting myself. So I'm going to use the smallest rectangle and just cut out this sentiment. Okay, so I will be right back. While I'm gone, just go ahead and watch that glue dry. It's like watching cement dry, but much smaller. All right. Get my sandwich changed up over here. Make sure this gets lined up like I want it, sort of straight, as straight as I can make it with my not so straight Mark 1 eyeball. Okay. All righto, here we go. And I'm back. And here we have our pretty sentiment. Isn't it fun stamping on DSP? Do not forget to stamp on DSP, because it's fun. All right, now I'm going to, because I still do have a big bow there, it's relatively big, so I'm going to go ahead and use a double stack of dimensionals. and I'm going to do like I usually do, which is put the dimensionals right on the card front instead of on the, come here now. Don't stick to that. You don't need a dimensional. Have you ever noticed that talking to your linen thread does no good? Mm-mm. Mm-mm. So then I'm going to just stick a second dimensional on top of each of those. That'll allow the sentiment to kind of skim over the top of that knot instead of being bumped up. All right, now before I take the last lids off, I think I will go ahead and double check that this is how I want it. And I'm going to let it go clear over to here, I think. Yeah, I like that. That looks good. Or should I go all the way over here? Let's go all the way over there and just pick this one up. Let me see if I can pick it up. If I can't pick it up, well, that's going to tell me a whole lot about where that sentiment's going to go, isn't it? Okay, we're good. All right, so we'll hang on to that because I may be able to slide it under. All righty, pick this up. And then set that upon there like so. And then I believe, yes, I was right. I can slide that right under with my tweezers. Tweezers are the best thing ever. Okay, now let me show you. Look at these. These are neutral matte dots. They're white in 2 sizes, black, basic beige, and pecan pie. Love, 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 love. Okay, now you were hoping for a different close-up. Okay, I can do that in just a second. We'll do that in just a second. What you'll see here is how thin these are. These are very much like many of our other matte dots with the adhesive on them. They are perfectly wonderful for your cards because they don't add a whole lot of dimension. They don't stick up too bad. So we're going to stick this down there like that. And that is our card front. Now, before we go to the inside, let me put a little close-up right here. And I will just hold it still so that you guys can see those beautiful edges. Oh, I'm a little too close. All right, let me get it down here. Yes, the dots are in the suite. Yes, ma'am. If you order the suite, you will get the bundle. You'll get the embossing folder. You'll get both packs of DSP. You'll get a roll of the new, the lint, the new ribbon. This is the ribbon that is in the suite. And then you will also get the dots. Alrighty, so there you go. I hope that was enough close-ups because I'm moving on. I'm moving on up to the inside of the card. Now, I did the same thing again for the inside. I used that linen DSP because I love it. Oops, looks like I don't remember getting my, I know, the dies are amazing. I have already forgotten the existence of deckled rectangles in favor of loving these so much. So much. All right, so I'm going to take my small leaves image and I am going to stamp them in the bottom corner of this DSP in Old Olive, like so. And in Mossy Meadow, I'm going to add thank you. You could leave this out if you wanted. I just thought it would be fun. I am going to do a quick check, make sure I'm straight. Yep, I am, and I'm getting a good image. So I'm going to pull this down just a little bit, y'all, so I can see it without sticking my big head in the way. There we go. And then one thing that's so cool, hi Cecilia, one thing that's cool about these really thin little dots, you can put them on the inside too, just like that. They are so beautiful. All right, so now we're just going to, I know, is that not the most gorgeous leaf image? I really, really love it. I really love it. The only thing I will say, and don't be disappointed when you realize this, I wish there were dies for the leaves in this set. I love these rectangles, doubt me not, but I would really love to be able to cut the leaves out without having to employ my fussy cutters, which I will do. You can count on the fact that I will do. Yep, Mary, you absolutely need this. You just absolutely need it. All right, so for my envelope, this is how that looks. Isn't that pretty with the embossed edge and that linen? It's yes, it's wonderful. It's wonderful. Mary loves all foliage. Mary is a foliager. She's a foliagizer. Just gonna stamp this a couple of times, and then I'm gonna go find my DSP that I cut for my envelope for it. Hanging on, be hanging on. Be hanging on. Well, I'm going to have to cut another piece, I guess, because I cannot find it. I will find it as soon as I cut another piece. Wait one. Be waiting. Nope, I can't find it. I'm going to have to cut it. Just a minute. All right. So I'm going to cut this at 2 1/4 by 6, and that will work perfectly for my envelope flap. There we go. And you could use the linen. Heck, you could use any of the designs in this paper, and I really think you would be just fine. In fact, it would just add another level of fun, I think. All right. A little liquid glue. And there we go. And then we'll get our scissors here, our little paper snippies, and do the world's easiest fussy cut. And there we go. I love, love, love this. Botanical Textures is the name of the suite, and you're just going to want the whole suite. So just plan to order it. Maybe order an extra pack of the neutral dots because you're going to use them like crazy because they're awesome. All right. Okay, guys, I appreciate that. Yes, you're... Oh, one thing I was going to tell you about this woven textures that's kind of fun. Oops, I'm having a little catastrophe over here. So there's 12 sheets in here, but there's only 4 designs. So you've got 1 design, 2 designs, 3 designs, 4 designs. So you get 3 sheets of each design. That's kind of fun because some of these you're going to use lots of big pieces of it, right? All right, guys, I appreciate you spending part of your weekend with me. I hope you'll come back on Thursday for another card. I do not know what we're going to make, but I'll bet it's going to be something with a new online exclusive. I'm just thinking, just throwing that out there for y'all. Have a great rest of your weekend. If you're getting snow, please stay warm. Please stay safe. If you're having weather like I am, enjoy it because it won't last. All right, guys, thanks. Ta.